Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday, everyone. My name is Jillian, and I am the Vice President of Marketing, Communications, and Strategies for CEO Consulting Group. And it's 9 a.m. on Monday morning, February 3rd, and it's Marketing Monday. So we're going to talk about marketing. We're going to talk about what's going on in the differences between sales and marketing strategy and how to implement those things into those strategies and tactics into your business. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I just want to make sure the live stream is working, and it looks like it's showing up. Okay, great. So again, thank you for joining me this morning. I'm excited to talk with you a little bit about the differences between marketing and sales, because from a skill set perspective, these are not the same skill set, nor are they the same outcome. And a lot of times when we're working with different business owners, we learn that they don't really know how to divide their time up between the two skill sets, especially if they don't have people on their team to be that resource for them. And so I want to talk to you about the differences between the core functions of them. And then I'm going to break it down into, excuse me, 6 different categories so that we can look at how marketers do things in certain categories versus salespeople do things in certain categories. When you're done listening to this, my hope for you is that you can, one, understand what skill set you have the strength in and which one you have the weakness in, and then two, gain clarity around the strategy between how you're going to divide your time in order to achieve your sales goals for 2025. And so let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk about the difference or the definition between marketing and sales. So marketing is the strategic process of creating awareness and generating interest and nurturing your clients and bringing people through your brand, getting them to your content, driving engagement, all of those areas of marketing, those all wrap up to be marketing. It is about telling people that your business exists and then getting that audience to then buy into you as a business. The definition for sales is it's a direct process of converting the interested people that the marketing people generate for you into leads and hopefully paying customers through like one-on-one or small group interactions or maybe some advertising or targeted ad spend. But basically, the difference is one is strategically wrapped around cultivation of relationship, and the other one is strategically wrapped around your return on investment. So it's the close. And so, with that being said, they are not the same skill. And so, I want to make sure that we discuss this and that everybody has clarity around their marketing and their sales process for 2025. So, focus and goals. So, marketing focuses on long-term brand building. And so it's customer education and lead generation. Its goal is to attract and nurture all the potential that your business can take in. And so a sales perspective and focus, a sales focus and goals would look like focusing on short-term revenue generation by converting those nurtured leads into relationships that then drive business. And so their focus is different because marketing needs to look at the big picture and sales needs to look at the here and now. They're on the ground and marketing is like your helicopter view, if you will. Strategy and approach. So, marketing uses broad strategies like content marketing and advertising, social media, email campaigns, SEO, all of those kinds of things to broaden the customer base, essentially, to help build out the brand strategy and expand the audience. Where strategy for an approach for sales looks more like relying on the direct communication, like relationship building and demonstrations, like that personal one-on-one time. So, like if you've ever been to a networking event and someone gives you their elevator pitch, that would be like an example of more of a sales perspective versus a marketing perspective. Is just going, we have a product, buy my product, right? The marketing and sales teams, when they are working on their strategies to intertwine them, and I will talk about this in a minute, it's really important that the overall direction is very clear for the organization that you are running and that they understand what success looks like along the way. And so the next category between marketing and sales is customer journey and interactions. So, marketing looks at the customer journey as engaging the customers at the top and middle of a sales funnel. So, they're like, if you've ever seen a framework for a sales funnel, it's very broad at top and then it gets very, very narrow and niche down. And so, marketing is at top, sales is at the bottom of a sales funnel. And so, the wider audience is like the top middle part of that funnel. The idea is that the marketing team is going to guide them through the awareness and consideration of those stages. Where a sales, like at the bottom of the funnel, they engage the customers at the decision making point. So they're action based, they're ensuring that they can move forward with purchasing. And they're again, the goal is that the salesperson is here and now, and the marketer is big and wide. Like you want them looking long term, ripple effect, what's going to happen, and your salespeople in the moment going, this is the right person for our organization or company. Then there's metrics and performance indicators. So marketers look like they measure success through brand awareness, engagement, website traffic, lead generation, conversion rates. It could even be like customer reviews and overall customer satisfaction. All of those things are metrics that marketers are looking at because they want to know that they're communicating effectively to their audiences and that their audiences are receiving that communication and then responding and engaging to it. And so marketing is looking to measure kind of high level analytics and metrics to determine performance. Sales measures success through revenue specifically. So, how many deals do they close? How many average sales do they have in a cycle? What's their customer acquisition cost? And so helping them gain understanding over what metrics are relevant to their position is going to allow them to make more strategic decisions and who they connect with and where they spend their time with. Under tools and platforms, marketers like to use tools like social media and email marketing, like softwares like Constant Contact, analytics platforms, and content management systems, because all of these things allow us to both build out a plan, but then have automation and have direct communication in a timely and consistent way. And so we want to train our audiences to know when to expect to hear from us. So if you're sending out like a monthly newsletter and it goes out the first week of every month, be consistent with that. Get it out the first week of every month. Let your audience know when you're going to show up for them. Now, similar to needing like the content management systems, whether you use Meta to manage your stuff, maybe use Canva. Similar to that, salespeople need stuff too. They need tools and platforms as well. So a CRM would be really good for a salesperson. Sales automation tools like texting and email automation would be really helpful for your sales team so that they can have a way to communicate directly with the client without having to be on call all the time and having to use their own personal cell phones. And then direct communication channels, like they're literally calling people, they're individually emailing people, they're going to networking events, and they are actively meeting people on your behalf with the intent of closing the sale. So very different, but still have a lot of similarities. Both need metrics or resources like tools and platforms to help them track their metrics to allow them to make this strategic decisions. And then collaboration and alignment. So it's really important that marketing and sales work together because while the skill sets are different, the outcome and the goal should be the same. And so marketing is going to be the way that you generate your leads. Sales converts them into customers. Sales provides insights into customers' pain points, and marketing refines the messaging accordingly. And then both teams should align on the target audiences, messaging, and goals to maximize the success. And when you do these things really, really well, it is truly like a 1-2 punch. It makes a big difference on your overall client experience. It makes a big difference on your team's experience with the company and allows people to have a point of clarity in their roles and their jobs that otherwise would not probably be there. Now, when it comes to creating a marketing strategy, one thing that needs to be considered is what are all of your areas of communication? Like, what different avenues do you talk to your audiences through? An example would be like maybe you have Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, maybe you have a newsletter, a blog, and a website. All of these areas would be communication platforms for your organization to help spread the message and build brand awareness. Now, those are digital, and there are also in-person options as well, meaning like you go to actual networking events, maybe you join a Rotary Club, a chamber, some BNI, some kind of networking group. Maybe it's like NABO, something that allows you to get connected with a wider audience. And sometimes I hear people share, oh, that's not where my people are. And that may be true. We don't want you wasting time. So if you really do know that those aren't your people, then by all means, pick a different avenue. But sometimes they are not your people directly, but who they know, those are your people. And so don't ever feel discouraged if you're going out to a networking event and get there and go, oh no, these aren't my people, because you can still talk about your organization. You can still tell people who you are, what you do, what problem you solve, and who a good referral for you would be. Maybe in this season of your business, you're not specifically looking for clients. Maybe you need to know a really good lawyer or a really good accountant or bookkeeper or whatever. You never know who you're going to meet when you go to a networking event. And I highly recommend you prioritizing at least two every single month for your company. And then having a follow up process for that, which then transitions you from your marketing role into your sales role. So if you have a follow-up process, let's say you meet with, let's say you go to an event, there are 100 people in the room, you get 10 business cards, so you commit to following up with 10 people. You go and send those emails, get the calendar stuff squared away, and then you go and get on your call. What do you do when you get on a call with someone? That's a great question. When you get on the call with someone, you want to remember that people will um, make buying decisions based off of how they feel, not necessarily based off of what's true and logical. So you want to make sure that the person you're talking to feels like what you have to offer is a good fit for them. It's okay if they logically know it, but chances are there's another way for them to get it because this isn't like we're doing things from scratch all the time. And so if you want them to buy from you, if you want them to convert and become loyal, raving fans of your business or organization, then you want to make sure that they feel that sense of connectivity to what you do as a company. And so part of understanding the sales side of things where your sales team can come back and say, hey, this is what the people are saying. They're upset about this or complaining about this, their pain point is here. Then the marketing team can take that information and go, okay, how do we communicate that we are the solution for these pain points, and then write that messaging in a way that's compelling, maybe even storytelling energy, to help pull people into the brand so that the sales team can then nurture those people who are in tune with what you are doing as a company. When it comes to identifying your overall strategy between the two, you want to make sure that you spend a good amount of time on your marketing and a good amount of money on your marketing. And typically the national average in the US is 12% of your budget should be allocated to marketing. And you should be doing integrated marketing so that your sales team, or whether that's you or a whole team, can have a higher pool of people to fish from. And so integrated marketing is something that we've talked about a few times on here, but I'll do a summary of it because It's very powerful, and it is really the only way to do marketing, because if you only do one channel, you are going to miss audiences. And so integrated marketing has like digital, in-person, and print categories. And so you want to make sure that you're showing up on all of your digital spaces. Don't have any ghosted pages. Like, don't start accounts and then not use them. That's not good for your SEO. It's not good for your website traffic. It's just not good for your brand. It looks like abandoned digital real estate. So don't do that. If you have social channels, website, blog, newsletter, all of these digital pieces set up, then you want to make sure you are using them all consistently. And then stacking in your 2 in-person networking events every month, and then making a point to at least do 2 one-on-ones every week, especially if you're in a building phase in your business. If you are growing and needing more clients and needing to gain awareness, like gain traction on your awareness campaigns, then you need to be talking one-on-one with people. You need to be cultivating relationships with your community that your business exists in, and meeting the people who are your ideal customer avatar, which can only happen when you go out into the world and show up for your business. And so when you're sending people out on your behalf, something to consider is, do they have what they need to show up for your business and be an extension of your brand? And what that means is, do they have a collateral piece, or do they have something that they can give away when they are physically in front of people? And so we always like to encourage people to do at least a 4 up, because what that means is, let me grab a piece of paper and I'll show you. Um, so you've got a standard sheet of paper in my kids' school, which they are calling me. So I might have to hop off in a minute. You take your paper, you quarter it like this. And then every part of this design, front and back, is the same on all 4 pieces. So you have front and back, front and back, front and back, front and back. So this is called a 4 up. The reason why this is so important is because something this small is really easy to fit in things and can have a positive impact on your marketing, because people have a piece that they can go back with and then remember you with, not just a business card. Because remember, people give out business cards all the time. So you want to make sure that you have something to give. Um, if when you are making your marketing plan and assembling everything together with your sales team, you want to make sure that you ask your sales team, what is it that you need at this next upcoming event? Because it may not be the same thing at every event. And that's a very important piece to remember, is it's not always going to be um, the same audience, especially for the companies that have like multiple major divisions of their organization, like construction companies and stuff like that, that do like home remodeling and then renovation, and then they do like structural builds. Those are 3 different audiences. Those are not the same people. And so you might need different collateral pieces for different events. So taking time with your marketing team to outline and determine, what messages do you want to put out in the community physically in person, and then going and making those pieces and then printing them and giving them to your team to use. Apart from that, the overall goal for sales and marketing is to work in collaboration to both bring in potential clients, and then nurture those potential clients into leads that then get closed. And if you've got that process working cyclically for you, you're going to see a positive return on investment for the energy, the money, the time spent in those categories. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I know this is going to be shorter today than normal. Heather was out today, my sweet friend who helps me do these Facebook Lives. And yeah, I wanted to just take a minute to walk you guys through this. And I'm grateful to be able to be here. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'd be happy to go back in and answer your questions directly. And if I talked a little fast, please let me know. I'm happy to repeat anything that maybe you might have missed or explain it in a better way. But I'm grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for hopping on with me this morning. Happy Monday. Enjoy your week. Make smart choices, and we'll see you next week. Bye, friends.